welcome back to my channel. My name is Aliyah and her name is Nasaya Chakari. And on my channel we do like just regular day in the life vlogs, super normal stuff. Sometimes I make stuff, I'm a cheer coach, I have a baby. That's what it is on my channel. And we got little Nasaya running around and she looks crazy ragamuffin because we're not going anywhere today and this is just my time to just live my life and do my makeup. And so yeah, this is what she looks like. But I am a licensed esthetician now. I shared a couple of videos with you guys, like of me in school. You're so precious, yes. And yeah, so I just wanted to like sit down and you guys exactly how everything happened, how school was, my opinions and my thoughts on everything. That's pretty much what this video is going to be. And then on top of that, I'm going to be doing my makeup because like I said, it's going to be my only day to like sit down and play with makeup. I usually only do my makeup when I have somewhere to go, so that doesn't leave much room for trial and error. So if something looks crazy on my face today, it's going to be fine. I don't care because we're just playing and we're hanging out. She's going to be all up in my makeup and this is not going to be as fun as I really want it to be.
Let's do it, Mommy.
Let's do it. Over here. Mommy will give you something to play with. So it all started. So it started in 2021. We were getting ready for Nasaya's birthday party, my bridal shower. It was just like a very big planning year. We just wanted to get off to a good start because first year back from COVID. And yeah, so I had been working on my vision board, like writing down things that I wanted to do for myself. And then my cousin came down, we were doing Nasaya's birthday party and all that. Yeah, so we're making the vision boards and both me and my cousin had both put on there that we wanted to get into like selling cosmetics and making our own cosmetics. So for me, I get really bad rashes under my armpits because I just have super sensitive skin. And I have always gotten them, like my cheer uniforms, when something rubs on me, the way, if I use someone else's deodorant, use an old razor, like uniforms, like that type of harder material, if like an outfit that I have on just irritates my armpits, it will literally turn into this rash and it's hella ugly and it's hella hard to get rid of and it burns and it hurts and itches. So I've always been okay, that's Halloween makeup. No more of that. Beautiful. You did your lips? Yeah. I've always done like a sugar, lemon, honey mixture for my armpits, and that's just how I make them like better and how I would recover, because when I was younger I used to go to the doctors all the time to try to get the ointment to take away with this rash, and the stuff that they would give me, medications, would not work. So yeah, that's how I kind of got started wanting to like make my own stuff. So we made our vision boards. I right then and there was like started making a business plan of how I wanted to like make cosmetics and then sell them. And then I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna have to go to esthetician school at some point if I want to know more about the skin. Like I could do my own research and look up as much as I want, but I need to go to esthetician school is what I was thinking. When I looked at the schools near me, I couldn't find anything, one, that was like updated, two, that was like I felt, oh, I could pay for that right now. Like I didn't feel like it was in my budget. At first I wasn't like, okay, I'm just gonna go to esthetician school. So I started looking around of like other things in the beauty industry. And mind you, I thought esthetician school was only for skin, and then because I was seeing all of these like lash courses, brow lamination courses, body sculpting courses, just a bunch of stuff that I was interested in and I wanted to get into, that was a cheaper course and a shorter course than esthetician school was. So obviously for me, I was like, okay, let's do that first because I could afford that right now and start making money, and then I will go. I found somebody that was near me that was doing courses, and I would say even before that though, I started making my products heavily. Like I was very product driven at first. Signed up for these courses. At first I did my lash extension course, and in the house that I was living at, I was able to work out of my house, so just like was easy for me because I had Nasaya and stuff. So yeah, I had like a whole office room that I was using for my clients, and that was really nice. And then I kept selling my products, and like I said, I signed up for these lash courses. So I took the lash course, realized that like dang, lashes are hard to do, and I then signed up for the lady that was giving the course. I signed up for 3 more of her courses. So she had a teeth whitening and tooth gem course, and then a brow lamination and a lash lamination course. And I signed up and took all those. So I probably spent like $5,000 just on courses alone. And after taking all those courses, was no longer living in that house. Like, where am I going to be working if we're not living here? I was going to get my nails done, and the girl that I got my nails done by, her name is Polish and Pretty on Instagram. I'll leave it down below so you guys can follow her. But basically, I was getting my nails done by her. I seen that there was a back room, and I was like, hey, what's back there? Does anybody use that? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, do you think I would be able to rent it out? Like, is she renting it out? The lady that's owning the place that she works at is a hair salon. And then the lady that does my nails, Serena, she's the only nail artist in there, and she works privately. Like, she sets up her own schedule. They're not connected. She just owns the salon, which is where we work. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, is anybody using this room? And she's like, well, what do you do? And I told her everything that I was certified in. And she was like, well, you need an esthetician license technically to work. And I hadn't known that. I feel like one of the biggest faults that I had was that I spent $5,000 on courses that I didn't need to. I feel like spend that money on. It did help me like throughout the year when I was able to make a little bit of money doing those things out of my house. But when I went to get a shop somewhere and actually put my certifications to use, you know, you're not allowed to. And no tea and no shade against the lady that like certified me and that I went to get certified, because I still really do like her. I just feel like people that do these certifications, they need to be more upfront and honest about the fact that you can't use this certification anywhere. Like, it's still illegal even if you're certified. If you're not a licensed esthetician or cosmetologist, it's illegal to do eyelashes, extensions, or waxing. I just feel like I probably would have saved a lot of money had I known that I still was going to have to go to esthetician school, and then that they were going to be trying to teach me the same thing at esthetician school that I just paid $5,000 extra to get a certification in that I can't use. Now, I see why people do take certifications after they've been licensed as an esthetician, because esthetician school isn't that long and you don't get taught everything as like in depth as you would think. Besides that, though, super cool, and she let me rent out a space and do what I needed to do, like hold my spot basically until I was done with esthetician school. So at that point I enrolled at esthetician school, and when I was looking for a school to go to, I had like the hardest time, honestly. I was trying to reach out to as many estheticians that I knew in my area and ask them like what was the best school, and every single person that I talked to was like, yeah, it's okay. And each person had their own incidents, whether it had been drama. One of the schools local to me, it was not updated at all. I swear, I went on their website, it said the information from all the way back to like 2012. And I was like, wow, this is very outdated. So I called them multiple times. I left them multiple emails. I would call them and be like, hey, I'm looking for information packet. Like, your website isn't updated. How can I like know about the information current? I want to enroll in school. I want to come take a tour. I called like 4 or 5 times saying the same thing. Every time they would tell me, I'll email it to you. I wouldn't get an email. And then the very last time I called someone, this lady was just rude and like had a very bad attitude, and she was basically like, you're gonna have to wait for our website to get updated because we don't know how to send it out. And I was like, okay, so you guys obviously aren't a good school. Like, let me not even try to go here. That was Milan that I had that like weird interaction with. And then Blake Austin was also near me, but at the time they were like literally getting shut down because their esthetician teacher was really mean and had like all these lawsuits against her. Just a whole mess. And then 45 minutes to an hour away from me with traffic, I ended up finding Paul Mitchell. I decided like, okay, this is the only school that I haven't like heard crazy bad things about. So me and my husband, we went and took a tour, and we met this girl, the lady that was taking the tour. You know, I thought I really liked her. Hence I say thought, because at the end of my school experience, she did something very bad, and I'm gonna tell you guys about it. But basically, and honestly, by the tour, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this school, like I love the environment. When I took my tour, it was during school hours. There was just a bunch of stuff going on, and I at first got the vibe of, wow, this school is going to be really good. I honestly liked the fact that there was a lot of people of color and different ethnicities. It felt very diverse. I don't know, I just liked the vibe there. And so I decided that I wanted to go there, and so we got like the pricing packets and stuff, and I met with someone to do like my FAFSA, and yeah, I just like literally got the ball rolling, and that felt really good. I was really happy and excited about it. And yeah, so that's how I started going to Paul Mitchell's. It came time for like my schooling to start. I started in April, so we had orientation first. We were at orientation, and the principal, or the like leader, the head guy in charge, I don't remember what they called him. Anyways, that guy that like ran the school or whatever, he was there at orientation, and he seemed like he was so hands-on. He seemed like he was gonna make my school experience so much fun. Like he had everybody under control, and it was just like a good environment, good music, good food, good activities, like just like a fun school environment. So I was really excited. And orientation was fun. We played like a game, and they just like really hyped us up and told us how they were going to help us build our future, and we're going to become estheticians and all this great stuff. And it just felt like a lot of storytelling. Looking back at it, like it was really a lot of just, they're trying to sell your hopes and dreams, I felt like. So yeah, after orientation, it started for us to actually start school, and this is where it got weird, because there was about 30 of us originally, like at orientation, that like signed up to be estheticians, because we had orientation with everybody, the cosmos, the barbers, and the estheticians. And so there was a lot of people there. Once we realized, okay, there's 30 people in the esthetician class, I was like, wow, how are 30 people going to come to school? There's people in class, but then they tell us that we're only in class 2 days a week. So I had to, for the first half of my schooling, I had to go to school on Tuesday and Wednesdays. But we had one teacher for what they called core. 6 weeks was a core program, and then our creative program was the last 4 weeks of school. So the first 6 weeks of school, we all had 30 people, all had one teacher. Only half of us would be in school Tuesday, Wednesday, and half of us would be in school Thursday, Friday. And the days that you weren't in school, you were on Zoom, if that's easy to follow. So Monday, everybody was on Zoom. Tuesday, Wednesday, I was in person, and the other half of our class was on Zoom on the TV as we did our day-to-day stuff. Our teacher would just like tell them what to do bookwork wise, and they would like leave, and then they would come back, like do check-ins and stuff. But while I was there, we would either be doing bookwork, or we would start doing like Creepy Lisa, which is like the doll head, and like learning stuff on that, and then performing on each other. So for those 6 weeks, and that teacher, I feel it was cool, and it was great and stuff, and I liked my teacher. However, I feel like the program as a whole, it's not like the way that we were getting taught and stuff, it just wasn't ideal. I feel like it just was, it was literally like we were just reading out of a book, or she was reading out of a book, then we would just answer these questions, and you have as many times as you want to answer these questions, and it's like pretty much it. Like that was the way we were learning. And in all honesty, it wasn't working for me. I knew it right then and there, but I wasn't tripping, because I was having fun. I was in esthetician school, and yeah, I was just living in the moment. We kept going like that for 6 weeks, and while I was in that part of creative, like I said, I don't feel like I learned much. My classmates were cool though. I was close with about two people at first, and then we started like everybody combining and coming together. The way we were testing was honestly bullshit. We had as many times as we want to complete these online tests that gave you the answer at the end of the test. So it was really easy to just cheat yourself and just like get by. Like I said, it was 6 weeks and we did so many chapters. It was a big book. Like we were flying through things. I felt like also when we got into actually doing things on the mannequin, it was literally like my teacher was in the front of the class and she had her mannequin and she did it once on the mannequin, then we did it once on the mannequin, then we did it once on each other, like by ourselves. That was it. We were good to go after that. Like even with like facial stuff, extractions, massage patterns, literally everything. It was like she read it in the book really fast, we answered a couple questions, and then she did it on the mannequin, we did it on our mannequin while she was doing it on her mannequin, we tried it on each other, and then that was it. We moved on. It was the same exact way of learning for everything: waxing, extractions, facials, massage technique, how to place the headband on the head. Like everything was treated the exact same, and I feel like that is a part of the problem, that some things needed a longer time to be explained and directed and made sure that you're doing everything right, as well as like the sanitary part. The sanitary part is the main part that they want to know that you know when it comes to taking your esthetician test. Yeah, when it came to waxing, I 110,000% can tell you that everybody in there, including myself, needed a deeper lesson on waxing. We were ripping each other's skins off. When it came to extractions, give me an extraction on my nose and it felt like I got punched in the face for like 2 weeks. Like my nose hurt, I couldn't touch it, I like barely wanted to wash my face. And after that, I decided that teacher was never going to give me an extraction again. Not only that, but I know extractions hurt. I know it's an uncomfortable process, but you got to get the dead skin cells and all that gunk out. I get that. I really do. I truly understand. However, some of the teachers were in there trying to say that they had their own shops and spas, and I'm like, there's no way you have clients that come back to you if you do that to them. There's no way. There's just no way. Like, riddle me that. You can't. After I got my extractions and stuff like that, I decided that I needed to continue doing research outside of school because I didn't feel like I was getting taught everything that I needed to. So I was watching a lot of videos of things that I needed to do, and even when I asked questions in school, trying to get like the correct answer to be better and do better, or they definitely were giving me bullshit answers, and it was annoying. Wasn't getting the help that I wanted. Oh yeah, there was so much obvious tension between teachers, maybe even a little bit between programs, as in like cosmos versus estheticians versus barbers, that type of vibe. Our teacher would pretty much tell us like about all the other teachers, and our core teacher was like the closed off one, so all the other teachers were pretty young. Our core teacher was a little bit older, and like you could just tell that they just didn't all fit in and get along with each other. We felt like the cosmos and the barbers, they got extra stuff that we didn't get. Like the esthetician program was left out of a lot because of the fact that the teachers did not get along and they didn't do stuff together, and that highly affected our esthetician program. A lot of us felt like, or it's not even what we felt like, it was happening. We were not getting invited to a lot of the stuff, so this was one of the things. The Cosmos were having a pizza party, and they were gonna have like this whole game day, just whole event that, like, a lot of times we wouldn't even know events were happening, and we would come to school and then things would be happening and we'd be like, oh shit. Like, it would have been nice for someone to let us know. They were having a pizza party, or they were told they were going to have a pizza party, so people came ready to party or whatever, and I guess the people that were running it, the Cosmo teachers and a couple other people, actually went out for breakfast before they were supposed to come to work, and they ended up getting really drunk and didn't come to work that day. Yeah, it was really bad because my teacher had to like take over that day, and like it interfered with like literally what we were doing, and then a bunch of those teachers got fired, and that's when like everybody was like on leave, and like it was just like a very awkward time in school because my teacher didn't even know what was going on to like tell us you know? There was a lot of days like where we got to school and like we literally didn't do anything. It was a waste of a day. It was like, why did I drive? It gets to the time where it's time to switch into the creative class, and we're all pretty excited because we're like, oh, these teachers, like we've talked to these teachers here and there, and it just seemed like those teachers were going to be teaching us and be way more hands-on with us than our creative teacher was. And at that point, instead of it being half and half, the teachers that we have only have us. The other half has a different set of teachers. So I feel like we all felt like the teaching was going to get better. However, it did not. It was pretty much the same, maybe even worse when we got to creative, because we really weren't doing book work anymore. We were doing like more hands-on stuff. So they had this thing called like clinic. So when we were in creative, we got to be in clinic. We got to have clients come and do their facials at school. You think that's going to be like an amazing idea, right? No. I hated it. I did not like clinic at all. You know, they say that you want to do clinic at school because then you get to ask the teachers questions, because in the real world you won't have a teacher to ask questions, so you're supposed to get all your questions out here. And when I was in creative, they were like, yeah, some people don't have somebody every week. I'm like, okay, I understand, like you don't have enough family, but some of the people just weren't putting in the effort to have a client come. And I realized that the reason those people weren't bringing the effort to have people come is because when you're doing clinic, I didn't even feel like my teachers were around to even answer my questions. They were so busy up and doing whatever they needed to do that, you know, you're really relying on your classmates, I felt, to help you get things and stuff. And yeah, they did. Yeah, creative was just rough. I felt like every time we took people in the spa. Oh, and then that's the other thing. The school is charging these people to come get a facial by you, and all you get is tip if they leave a tip. And I did not like that either, because we were putting hard ass work in. Some people were coming in and getting complete Karens, like complete Karens were coming in and being just rude to people. I had an experience with someone that I had never done her before. So the school does promotions on their own. So they'll do like 10 sessions of free facials, right? They had this deal like years ago. This lady came in and she wanted to fulfill that deal, but they no longer upheld that facial at the program. And I was trying to explain that to her, and she went off on me. And then once the front desk person re-explained literally the same exact thing that I had just said, she finally wanted to understand. So yeah, that was really frustrating. And another just thing that I just wasn't the biggest fan of, just because like they don't need to be getting the money when I'm putting in all the work, and they're not even / barely helping me when I am doing the work. When we got to creative, and it was only the 2 in-person days of school. I mean, it happened a lot in core too, but more often in creative. You know, we're scheduled to be there 9 to 5, period. Like, we're supposed to be in school from 9 to 5, whether that's on Zoom or in person. And every time we were in person, even if it was a clinic day and we were doing clinic, our teachers at like 4 o'clock would be like, start cleaning up. And then like at 4:50 they're like, everybody by the door, ready to go. Like, we didn't get our full like time and experience, I feel, in that aspect either. No real like structure, like you have to be here, you have to stay here, this is what we're doing. Like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like the structure was there, and I personally feel like I would have gained and would have really enjoyed myself way more had there been more structure. I mean, obviously I had a fun ass time with my friends, like, and we made amazing friends, but I feel like I should have learned a lot more than what I did. So yeah, like for instance, one time I was getting a Brazilian done, and it was 4 o'clock, and they wanted to have everything wiped down in the room so we could leave exactly at 5, so I didn't get my Brazilian finished, and it got rushed, and I had to just leave. And it was another student, it was a friend of mine that was doing it on me. Like, she should not have been rushed. Our teacher should have been in there trying to help her and teach her, and if not, let her finish. They should have came in and finished. I don't know. A couple of things that happened I just wasn't the biggest fan of, which is fine. Obviously, you can't, like, school wasn't set up and made just for me, so a lot of things I'm not going to like or agree with. It's whatever. But other than that, like, my teachers were cool. Like, they were cool people. I just don't feel like the program was set up right for them to teach us right. Yeah, and then when it came down to the process of actually, like, oh, we're getting ready to graduate school, which means we're going to get ready for state board. When it came down to that process, it was very much so like, everything that we've already done, written, wrote about, just keep rereading that, you'll be fine. Yeah. Also, remember how I told you at the orientation, the guy that, like, ran everything, he was very involved, and like it just seemed like he was very involved and, like, was going to make this whole experience great. Dude, I literally seen him maybe, like, twice the whole time I was there. He, like, never was there, ever. I'd never seen him. There was just never anybody in charge that we could talk to. Everyone always just said, oh, go talk to this person, oh, go talk to that person, but that person always just send you somewhere else, so it was literally really annoying. The payments were all messed up. They always took our payments out wrong, or, would forget, or, like, didn't take them out and then would ask us to pay again, or we would pay and they would ask us to pay again, and it was getting to be way too much when it came to that. When I was there, I feel like everything was falling apart. Oh, that was the other thing when I was there. When the Cosmos would graduate, we would hear them have this big ceremony all the time. Like, they were doing this all the time. When we graduated, we literally got nothing. The school didn't celebrate shit for us. Then once it came around to be the time to actually start graduating and getting all that together, like I said, they weren't being very helpful with anything. So everybody graduated on a different day because, if you missed the day, that counts against you. That's your hours. They literally were just like, this is our last in-person day, then you have to come on Zoom, and if you haven't made up all the hours that you've missed, you got to keep coming until you make up all those hours. The thing is, my class couldn't even see our grades the entire time, our attendance the entire time, nothing. They have this app called Class App, but when we were there, we were trying to get it to work and it wouldn't work for us. No one ever came and fixed it for us. We never had it. On top of that, like, our Paul Mitchell shirts that come in, our package of what we're supposed to get when we sign up to be an esthetician, not there. We didn't get our shirts till hella late. We didn't get our lockers until halfway through the program. Everything was just so late and delayed. It really just sucked. It really made my experience not the best. I don't know. My biggest advice for someone that's going into esthetician school, I feel like, would be you're obviously going to have to do the work that they're going to give you, but give yourself extra side work so that you could really remember and take in everything that you should be learning. And then as far as esthetician school, like, and as an overall general, like, I wouldn't say Paul Mitchell is, like, the worst school ever and not to go there, because everybody that I've heard that went to every different school has a bad review. It's like, I feel like esthetician schools as a whole suck. And I think the beauty world really needs to be revamped in that aspect. And like I said, with the whole lashes thing and how I feel like it's not cool for people to, sell these courses without really making it entirely visible and understandable that you are not allowed to, like, use that license for anything, or that certification for anything until you're licensed. So yeah, that, but I feel like I wouldn't say don't go to Paul Mitchell, because I do feel like there's room for improvement everywhere, and I do feel like they probably are the most, like, cultured and could be the best. And everyone, okay, let me stop talking. Everyone that I know that has been to esthetician school has had some sort of bad experience, unorganized experience, and yeah, like I said, I just feel like the whole beauty industry. The last 2 days of school, we were in person. Basically, these two girls were walking in my class, and the girl that gave me a tour when I first started was giving someone a tour. Somewhere along the lines of the two girls that were in my class said, "Don't do it," and the lady that was giving the orientation thought that the girls were saying, "Don't do it, like, don't come to the school," which, like, we kind of all felt that way at that point, because it was very, like, there was no teachers there. It was unorganized. They didn't give a fuck. So we didn't give a fuck. That was the vibe. Yeah, so then The girls came back in our class. You guys seen, if you guys watch my vlog of the pizza party, or like our breakfast party at school, my last 2 days of school. It was my last video I just posted. We were doing all that. We were having a great time playing games. Like, we were having so much fun together. And then literally bust in the door the girl that gave me my door when I first signed up, and she started screaming at the 2 girls that had just walked into my room, like screaming at them like she was their parent. Like, I had to sit down, like sit back in my chair and be like, this really trying to talk to someone like that? Like, we're all adults here. No one, everybody here has graduated high school, 18 and older. Everybody was in their 20s already, so it was just like, you're really trying to talk to someone like this. And she was an older lady, probably like in her 40s, and it was crazy. She came in talking or yelling at one of the girls, and the girl that she was yelling at was like, I don't even know why you're yelling at me, because first of all, it wasn't even me that said anything. And she just kept going, like saying things that were just so rude. I'm your superior, you need to be respectful, and just like saying all this crazy. Girl that actually did say something, she was like, and I said it, and I wasn't even talking to you, and you're doing all this for no reason. And that lady didn't even have to give her a public apology. Like, our last 2 days of school were literally ruined because of that. Like, as I said, like, I didn't even want to take a picture when we were all leaving. Like, I was just so over the environment. It was very toxic at that point. I was like, this is not okay. I always get the question of how much was school and how did I pay for it. And like I said, I did FAFSA, and I've never been to college before, so, and yeah, I have to pay some of it back, but by little payments. I had to pay $100 a month while I was in school to start, but it was super easy for the payment part. That was not a stressful part at all. The stressful part was school and the people at my school. Okay, I'm gonna take this off and just put gloss on, because the red with the purple, they really ain't it. With this color shirt, it's really naughty. $100 a month for 4 months, and then at least $50 a month after that. And yeah, it was $11,000 to go to Paul Mitchell. After school ended, and I was waiting to get a call so that they can schedule me for my exit interview, which is this thing that they call. This is another thing I really didn't like, because I feel like they should have just done this the last day of school. But basically, we all had to get scheduled for an exit interview, and at the exit interview you get your diploma saying that you finished your hours and all that, and all your schoolwork, and then you sign up for state board through the school. I did not get a call for my exit interview until a month after I finished school. That was already like, what, like, this is taking way too long. Once we all started finally getting scheduled, or that's the thing, they said that they were going to call us, and then they never did. They said don't call until we call you. They never did. And then one person in my class got a call, so we all just called the next day and got scheduled, because they were trying to say it was going to take another month to even get it scheduled. And I was like, you're tripping. I need my license. I need to start making money. Like, once I got my exit interview and they signed me up through state board, they said it could take up to 10 weeks for state board to send me something in the mail so that I could then set up a date to take my test. State board never sent me anything at all. I only got my test scheduled because one of the girls from my class didn't sign up through the school for state board, so she had done it on her own, just like online, and she had a great experience. To finish this video on my phone, so if the lighting is all different, I apologize. I finally called state board and I got my own test scheduled. The school said it was going to take so long, but it literally didn't once I actually called myself. Yeah, I got my test scheduled. I literally just studied all the online tests that we took at school, and all the chapters like that, like all the vocab. And I went in, I studied for 4 whole days. That was it. Like I said, I didn't really learn much in school. There was 75 questions, and you had like 2 hours or 3 hours to do it, and I finished in like 30 minutes. It was super easy. It was so easy that I was just happy that I finished, but also irritated because I was stressing so bad about it. So yeah, that was pretty much my esthetician, like how I became an esthetician story. I don't want to mean to be so negative, but I do feel like I said the beauty world needs a lot of updating, and It needs to catch on to the trends because there's estheticians out there that are doing amazing things and with the times, and when you look at them you think that the beauty world sets you up for that, but it doesn't. And I think they should do a better job of doing that so that people can be their best selves and not hurt people when they're out on their own working and not under someone else's LLC. Like, this is like my business. If something goes wrong, it's on me. So I want to be able to know that I know how to do everything and I know everything that I'm saying is factual and right. And I just felt like I know this industry is like forever evolving and you always have to grow and learn in it anyways, but I feel like I'm still having to make up for the learning I should have even gotten in school. So that's just how I feel. I'm gonna take this Morphe setting spray. And guys, that is literally it from this Chit Chat Get Ready With Me. I really hope you guys enjoyed. The next Chit Chat I do will be more so about like me and my life and where I am, like living fitness wise, where my family is, what we've been doing lately. And as far as it goes for like what I'm doing now with my esthetician license, I feel like that will also come in the video when I tell you guys what we're doing in life. So that's pretty much it for me and my esthetician story, how I became an esthetician. I truly hope that you guys enjoyed, like I said, and I hope you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I always post on my regular like self page, my private Instagram, but I also have an Instagram for my esthetician business, and I would love for you guys to follow. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.